God of War is such a phenomenon in the video game industry that it got us thinking that perhaps there are 10 other games that could benefit from a God of War caliber reboot. Now, these are fantastic games. They're some of the best games ever made, but God of War has really revolutionized this industry, so of course, we've got to start talking about some other kinds of possibilities, some what-if scenarios. So without further ado, here are 10 other game series that could benefit from a God of War caliber reboot.
Feed us.
Metroid. Samus Aran is an incredible protagonist, and the mysteries around her are part of our attraction to the character, but it would be amazing to see Nintendo take us in with a compelling backstory and provide us with information about why she chose this mercenary life and how she learned to overcome every one of the squishy, dangerous obstacles she has been able to face in her illustrious career. We know that Metroid Other M tried to shed some light on Samus's past, but a clean reboot emphasizing and defining the character's moral core and strong self-reliance while introducing us to well-defined characters that legitimately mean something to Samus would be great material for a new, fresh-feeling Metroid adventure. A state-of-the-art 3D third-person action adventure is what we'd be hoping for here. Castlevania. Even more convoluted than the Metroid plot is the Castlevania lore. I think a reboot for this series would have to start right from the beginning of the game series and focus on Simon Belmont fighting Dracula. The experience should be 3D, third person, and deliver really intricate and detailed level design. We want to see Simon Belmont clearly, we want to feel the terror he feels, and we definitely need the monsters that fight alongside Dracula to come across as pure evil nightmare fuel. The game should be violent, creepy, and M-rated, and in order for it to succeed in a post-God of War, Last of Us, Breath of the Wild world, we really need to believe in the characters that we see up on screen. Halo. One of the key issues with the Halo universe is that Master Chief is a terrific creation, but many of the Halo games spend a lot of time bouncing us into the shoes of other characters, and we don't really get a lot of time to understand the core of this super soldier. The storytelling and world building in the Halo games has always been a great source of pleasure, but a God of War caliber reboot would really let us into the mindset of John 117. I think a third-person open-world Halo adventure set early in Master Chief's career would help us to better place the character into the context of all the threats around him. Maybe some parts of the game are played through flashback sequences, but I think it's imperative to let us really see who this character is and not just from the ancillary material. It should all be in the game. Uncharted. Nathan Drake is one of the greatest video game protagonists of all time, and Naughty Dog has done an incredible job fleshing out the world of Uncharted, but something that has always rung a little hollow is the lack of consequence from all the violence in the game. Yes, the games evoke the pulpy fun of the Indiana Jones movies wonderfully, but games are different. We're not watching a carefully orchestrated framing of these characters. We are in Drake's shoes, and we should feel what he feels completely. The gunplay and the drama of the storytelling are undermined somewhat by the T-rated nature of the experiences. The best way to elevate the experience is to add the weight of the violence and to lean into it a little more. It's okay if the Uncharted series pushes into an M rating if the games get more fulfilling. Metal Gear Solid. This is one of my favorite game series, and the storytelling has been sensational, but even the most hardcore fan would admit that the lore of Metal Gear Solid is a convoluted mess that is absolutely intimidating to new players. Taking a page from the God of War playbook and capitalizing on the fact that with Kojima gone, the series needs a fresh reboot anyway. Here's Konami's chance to effectively set up Solid Snake in a brand new day one adventure. It's almost like the rebooted game could unwind some of the interwoven stories from Kojima's games and deliver something that is equally clear and upfront, but also impactful. This is an opportunity for a new development team to make a name for themselves. Mass Effect. BioWare needs to go back to the drawing board with Mass Effect, that is clear. Character development and storytelling has always been a strong suit for the studio, but now the mechanics of conveying this new Mass Effect story have to be kicked up a notch. The seamless no-cuts concept between God of War is an inspiring challenge. It made us stay up close and personal with Kratos and Atreus from beginning to end. Equally important are action mechanics that feel organically connected to the story beats. However the studio pursues a new iteration of the Mass Effect franchise, you can bet that the devs at BioWare are taking a long, hard look at what Sony Santa Monica achieved with God of War. Assassin's Creed. Even though the series is extremely successful and Origins was a superb distillation of a lot of lessons learned over the years, Assassin's Creed is simply too convoluted. So perhaps the greatest lesson the developers behind future Assassin's Creed games can learn from God of War is how to keep a game epic in scale without getting lost in the plot, all while delivering emotional moments that feel tangible and personal. Not an easy thing to do when you have wide open maps with the crowded streets and dizzying verticality associated with the Assassin's Creed franchise to contend with, but perhaps seems Ubisoft would be well served by making a new game that's more tightly bound to linear narrative that really moves us. Or perhaps the lessons learned from God of War could be employed by Ubisoft in a brand new Prince of Persia reboot instead. Mega Man. Now, I'm not implying that we need to make an M-rated Mega Man game at all, but wouldn't it be cool if in addition to all the great power-ups and abilities that Mega Man would acquire in a successful 3D third-person reboot of the franchise, we could also get more value from the storytelling in the experience and really grow to love this powerful little robot for more than just his superficial exterior. At the core of the Mega Man myth is the tale of an old professor creating a childlike heroic robot with extraordinary abilities. That tale could be told in a way that really moves us while not losing one bit of the series' patented addictive challenge or zany sense of humor. Devil May Cry. Although I felt that Ninja Theory's divisive reboot of the Dante story was amazing, and perhaps was a bit of an influence on the departures Sony Santa Monica took with their new God of War, it was still quite divisive. So the trick to getting a new Devil May Cry right would be to honor the work that a young and hungry Hideki Kamiya put into the original Devil May Cry, but modernize it and add in some serious and believable gravitas. As insane and over-the-top as the character of Dante has appeared in the previous games, there is an implied wariness and melancholy that has come with being the world's most badass demon hunter. Perhaps a Devil May Cry reboot could lift from the new God of War's concept of having a beaten-down older Kratos and introduce us to an older, wiser, and more down-to-earth Dante that is haunted by some of the demons he helped to annihilate. It would certainly help make the character more rounded and intriguing. Splinter Cell. Like the Metal Gear Solid games, the Splinter Cell titles and Sam Fisher's story has gotten increasingly more complicated over time. Also, with Michael Ironside as our Fisher, the character sounded world-weary from his first training mission. If the series is going to continue with Ironside, an inevitable Splinter Cell reboot should capitalize on Ironside's long career and give us a Fisher that has seen some stuff but still has the tenacity to get things done. I'd love to see a Sam Fisher adventure that starts off straightforward enough but then expands out to deliver the layers of complex intrigue and mystery that we might see in a season of Homeland. So there are some awesome games and some food for thought. It's all meant to come from love and respect. We love those games, but God of War is such an incredible accomplishment, it can't help but inspire some what-if scenarios. I would love to hear your thoughts on this video, and if you've got some other franchises that you think could benefit from a God of War caliber reboot, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.